แล้วก็รออันแรกเนี่ยผมต้องการให้เห็นขวาเปิดอันนี้งั้นให้เหมือนกันทุกคน
My name is Chatri Chalam Yukon. I am the director of Studio Thai. From the first film I made, most of my film will be not the social injustice, but most of them about the common people.
I like the attitude that he sets on the set. I think that because he is a relaxed director, that more people want to work with him.
Good.
Actually, the biggest movie ever in the history of the Thai movie industry. It's a story that Thai people know very well, but at the same time don't know very well, because there's as much legend as there is truth in the story.
Everybody in Thailand know about Queen Suryothai, know how she died, but not too many people know how she lived. So I start to do research into her life and discover many factors which is possible to make into a film.
Suryothai is the queen in the period of about 400 years ago in Ayutthaya period. Ayutthaya is our capital before Bangkok. She's a heroine queen as she sacrificed herself in the war between Thai and Burmese. She went out together with her husband, King Chakrapat, and she fight on elephant back. All Thai people respect her as her sacrifice for the nation. I had quite a big fan of a teenager group who sent me a letter or call me sometimes. And they said they've seen the movie and now they love to learn history now, which is, oh, that's great because that's the main thing for the movie to come out and to help Thai people to go back to reconsider our history.
This is true history. This is not Hollywood writers saying, right, we make a story where, the bad guys die and the good people always win. This is just a true story.
Sisudajan and Suryothai were probably very similar type of person, but completely different. Even the name, Sisudajan is mean the moon and the Suryothai is mean the sun. I think Sisudajan is the one who show her emotion more. Suryothai keep everything to herself. The woman who played the part of Queen Suryothai, her name is Piyapat Pirumpati. She's from the very good family. She never acted before. This is her first time.
One day, Mom came back and told me that Her Majesty has a plan to make a movie with Prince Chatri. Her Majesty also mentioned that she would love me to be the leading role in that movie. We just laughed at that because how could it be possible to be that? And then almost 3 years after that, Chatri called me and said, okay, he has set up almost everything, now he wants to talk to me. I said, what?
I always thinking of Mai Tirupura, the actress who act on this part as Sisudajan. She's beautiful, she's cunning, and she can use her sex appeal to advantage. I think that's what Sisudajan is. We're talking about Mai. We have to recreate the whole Ayutthaya of that period for the film.
It's really like going back in time and getting to see Siam at that level, which is, for me, I always was fascinated by Siam and how life was, and you really have a reconstruction that they did in great detail.
In 16th century, Ayutthaya is a sizable city with a population about 1 million people, while London is 60,000. Many think that it's actual site of what happened. One of them is the killing of Sri Sudachan at what rank. Why we do the researching? We go through all the chronicle and all this historical book, and we plot the route on that fateful night. When we saw the place, I said, why don't we shoot it here? You cannot get more realistic than that. So that's what we did. Most of interior we were filming inside the studio, which we rent a big space to build all those sets.
For Thai, what we know is that Ayutthaya is more beautiful than Bangkok. But of course, because of the war, everything's been destroyed by the Burmese.
As a Westerner, to come into Thailand to learn about the culture and the history has been a very good experience.
The ritual in the studio Thai is a real ritual. We have to research about everything, how they dress, about all the costumes, what type of weapon they use, what type of gun, what type of cannon. The scene of Prince Ratha has been executed. It's one of the most difficult scenes to make because no one knows how it's done. We know that at that period, to kill a prince, royal blood, you're not allowed to spill the blood to the ground. So they put them into the sack and then executed with the slitted wood. We discover that a British guy who in Burma about 100 years ago witnessed this execution. With that, we can recreate it.
Of course, for me, the armor is something different, because the lady costume I'm quite used to it. But the men's costume for me is, wow, kind of impressed that people in the old day, they have to wear this kind of thing to the battlefield. Should be very heavy and with the hot climate, and it's still beautiful. You had to have a long hair, of course, and then you grab everything up here. And they should use the candle wax or maybe the coconut oil to make it stand up. It's almost the same as a ponytail, but instead it's not here, it's up here. It gave me a headache every time. Yeah.
One of the most impressive shots is the shot of the coronation of the King Norputangun after he learned about the death of the King Ramatipati II. You see the shot, we starting with the king walk out of his chamber and coming into the throne room, and the camera panning with him. It's quite long. It's what you call the director indulgent shot. Always take a whole day to set it up, and finally we have to cut it out because it's too long. That's always happen with this type of shot. We actually did quite a lot of the shot on digital. We put fire into the water. The funeral of Yo Thai. We built a large set, but we need a city on the background. So we have to add it. In the beginning, we're planning to use a lot of the CG.
We'll have a lock-up camera.
But we discover after we go around to ILM, using the computer graphic is much more expensive than using a real people and real elephant. So we go by the real people and real elephant. A lot of people come to see the film and say, wow, that's real people. They thought it's something like a CCB mill film, The elephant is a symbol of Thailand. If you look at the Thailand map, it looks like elephant head actually.
Well, everything is fine for me, but to ride the elephant is something. Before I used to ride on the back of it with a chair. That's quite okay, but to be at its neck and to control it by yourself, I need to learn that. Scary or not? Yes, it is scary because it's very high when you look down.
No one knows how the elephant battle works. We read about it in our history. We saw some painting, but no one actually been sitting on the neck of the elephant. So we have to experimenting on it by having our stunt people working on the back of the elephant. So something like that's never happened before. Pretty hairy actually.
Let's just do one more.
Okay.
Richard Howie is an expert in Thai music.
We have to make 128 minutes of music.
We record all of the orchestration in Budapest, in Hungary, and we did all the Thai music in Bangkok.
For a big movie like this, you know that you would use big orchestra. But of course, we use a lot of Thai instruments as well. I've recorded many fantastic Thai musicians on all the instruments in different ways at different times.
When we mixing, the final mixing of the film, we did it at the Coppola studio in Napa, and obviously it's in the Mr. Coppola backyard. So he kind of curious about this film.
Prince Chatri went to the UCLA Film School a couple of years after I did, so we are alumni of the same school. Wim Wenders was the first person I knew who told me about the wonderful films that he's done, and I just was, of course, as a director, profoundly impressed with the staging of the film and just knowing what it takes to try to put that on the screen. So I was attracted to it, and I went to Thailand with my suggestions.
Francis fly over here by himself and wake up every morning at 8 o'clock, going up to cutting the film for 3 weeks.
My effort was to try to make it be more clear to Western audience in some of the editing and making it shorter and help in any way I could.
I can feel that he liked the film. That's the greatest contribution, for have my people to like my film.
Well, for me, what you're gonna ask for, for your first movie, it's been a great success already in Thailand, and you have worked with great director of Thailand, and now you had a chance to make with a great producer, great director of Hollywood. Well, what a life! and once the movie is shown in Thailand, it's a big hit. The person who stopped going to the movie house for 40 years and like that, they go.
I think these themes are timeless, and just as The Godfather had some gratitude to the classic work of Shakespeare in terms of succession, equally Suryatai, which is the story of a true dynasty. I mean, there really were those extraordinary women consorts, queens behind the scenes manipulating power, using all the tools at their disposal, sex and betrayal and poison. I mean, it's really the real stuff that goes back into the heritage of the succession of power in the world.
To make people get more united, you need to be proud of yourself first. And to be proud of yourself, you need to know who you are, where you come from, what your roots is. If you know your own history, then you know who you are.